Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Hit it.
Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, and I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show.
Starting to get back into the groove of this.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun the last couple of weeks. Just wanted to start off quickly with the weekend box office. Another Ghostbusters is out. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, not surprisingly, opened in the lead with $45 million. Dune Part 2 jumped over or leapfrogged Kung Fu Panda back into second place with 17.6. Kung Fu Panda third, 16.5. Immaculate 5.3, and Arthur the King rounds out the top 5, 4.3. I have no interest in seeing Arthur the King. It just doesn't.
No?
No, I mean, I'm not a huge Mark Wahlberg fan, and it just doesn't look interesting to me for some reason. I don't know. It just. Have you seen the previews for Monkey Man?
Monkey Man.
That looks so.
Oh, geez, and I forgot. I've been promoting Monkey Man.
It just looks so different. Like I haven't even read what it's actually about. I've just seen it. Like it pops up on IMDb or sometimes on Facebook. It'll just pop up in the reel or whatever. And it's is Dev Patel the actual Monkey Man?
Yes,
Okay.
and he directed the movie.
it. I knew he directed it, but yeah, I don't know. It just looks different.
It's kind of like an action movie, and he but basically it's about this guy that dresses up as the Monkey Man, which in Hindu culture is the god Hanuman.
Okay.
Which is interesting, the monkey god. So he dresses up as him, and what he does is he's like, like in professional wrestling, he's a guy that they beat up upon. So basically, they go in, and the other, fighters or whatever.
It is a wrestling type of thing. Okay.
They beat up the Monkey Man, and then at some point, I guess he's in debt or something. And he gets he turns against the mob or something like that, and the Monkey Man turns on them, and he's not losing anymore. He decides he's going to go after these people. So, I don't know. I've been talking about it on my radio show. I've been playing monkey songs.
It looks interesting.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It looks interesting. Definitely different. Something I haven't really... I don't know. I mean, I guess I would check it out. I don't think I'd go to the theater to see it, but I'd probably, if it was on TV or something... Oh, yeah, and there's another Bad Boys coming out, too.
Really?
Yes, Bad Boys, Ride or Die. I just saw that today. That's coming out this year, so...
Oh, jeez. They're rehashing everything.
Guess we're not done with sequels.
No.
Everything's got a sequel nowadays. I mean,
I'm just looking to see what Ghostbusters got rated. It got rated 6.5.
That's low considering it just came out.
Oh, yeah. That baby's going to sink.
Yep, it's going to be in the fives, mid-fives probably.
Right.
Which isn't surprising. I mean, it's like... There's only so much you can do with something like that, I guess, after a while. It's like, how many... What is this? Like... This is number 5, I think? Because there was Afterlife.
I think there were 3, right?
Well, there were the ones with the first 2, and then there was the female one, and then there was Afterlife, and now there's... What did I say this one's called?
Frozen Empire?
Yeah, so this is at least 5. There might be more, but this is at least 5. I mean, it's like... It's kind of like kicking a dead horse after a while, It's like...
Yeah, it's like, do we need that,
But I mean, we're on Kung Fu Panda 4 too, so I mean, how much can you really do with that? Like,
I mean, but you and I did get to see. I mean, I would dump on all the sequels, except you and I went to see John Wick 4,
and that was good. That's the highest rated of all the John Wicks. That's the highest rated one.
Is it really?
It is, yeah. And it's
But
also
it's long.
It's the longest one too. But we also did get the pleasure of seeing Halloween Ends. What a dud.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I don't think it's going to end.
We got robbed. They should have given us a refund at the door. I own, except for Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, which is not related to any of the other Halloweens. I own every single Halloween movie except Halloween Ends. That's how bad that movie was.
Wow.
It was stupid. It was so dumb. Like, it didn't make... And we both agreed that the other guy is probably going to take over and be the new Michael Myers or whatever.
Right.
But it was so bad. I mean, it opened like low 50s, I think, and I don't think it made over 60. That's how bad the word of mouth. It was just...
Wow.
I wonder what that gets rated. That's going to get rated so terrible. I mean, and I love horror movies and
Yeah, I
Halloween.
bet that's below the Mendoza line.
Oh, definitely.
Well, surprisingly, Season of the Witch, if you look it up, that might be one of the highest rated Halloween movies.
That doesn't mean it's not stupid, though.
No, I probably was stupid. I think I gave up. There was one where Jamie Lee Curtis, she was in the hospital, and Jason was attacking her in the hospital. That was probably the last one I had seen.
5.0.
5.0.
I think that's high. I mean, it was...
That's Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Wow.
5.0. I mean, it's that bad. It just...
Yeah. It was. We went to the theater and we did not enjoy it.
I mean, I don't even think it was... Yeah, it was an hour and 51 minutes long. I was going to say, I didn't think it was that long, but it seemed like it dragged forever. It was just so boring. And just the plot was just stupid. It was just a...
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked...
What about Scream? We went to see Scream too. Whatever that one was, 6?
6, yeah. I liked the 5th one better. And the 4th one better. And the
That
3rd.
wasn't as bad. That was not as bad as Halloween.
It was
but
definitely
wasn't
better than Halloween Ends.
not a prize winner. But I think that series survives because it's got kind of a humorous edge to it.
Yeah. And they're bringing in younger people too. You know, like as Halloween, they kind of are, but Jamie Lee Curtis is still the star, and she's in her, mid-60s probably?
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
She's older than I'm sure.
Yeah, so I mean, it's, Halloween's got some young blood. Like, they started bringing in younger people or not Halloween, I mean, Scream started bringing in younger people in Scream 4. Like, Emma Roberts was in it, Hayden Panettiere was in it, Rory Culkin was in it. So they still had the original characters, but they brought in the younger characters to kind of, try to get the younger crowd. And it didn't really work because Scream 4 really tanked. I liked it. I actually saw it in movie theater, but it did not do well at the box office. And so they initially canceled 5 and 6. And then years later, they decided to do them, and they're both pretty successful. So they're doing a number 7, which the lead got fired from over she said something inappropriate or whatever, so she got fired from Scream 7.
Oh, wow.
The star of Scream 5 and 6.
Oh, they should kill her.
They technically did because she's not in
Right?
7 anymore.
I'll bet they could probably take some stuff off the editing.
They probably
floor,
could.
Put her into the movie for 5 minutes and kill her.
They could. I'm sure they could. Maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe they
Yeah.
will. I mean, but so Tom Wilkinson died on December 30th of this past year. 75 years old.
Which is not super old.
No.
I don't know how he died. I kind of looked briefly. I looked around to see. It said he died peacefully in his home, and I think that was all that they said about it. So he could have had cancer.
Right.
I looked. He had been married for like 36 years. He's been married to the same woman, and they did several projects together. I forget which movie I was saying that they were in together, but they were in a couple. They were in a TV series.
Oh, was it the Best
together.
Marigold?
Best Marigold Hotel.
Yeah.
They're both in that.
And you've seen that, right?
No.
You have?
It's
Okay.
on my list to see, though. It is something I want to see. For whatever reason, I just keep putting that one off.
I actually, we just talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I just watched In the Bedroom because like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because
I should watch that
when I
again.
saw that he passed, I was like, that was probably one of his best performances. He was nominated for Best Actor for that movie. He was also nominated for Supporting Actor for Michael Clayton, which I think is his best performance of the movies I've seen. I haven't seen a ton. I don't remember enough of the Full Monty. I wanted to watch it, but I couldn't get it.
Well, that's good. You don't even have to read subtitles for that one.
I know.
You could.
I was going to tell you, I got Hulu just got Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, neat.
It's half subtitled.
Oh, wow.
So I've got like 25 minutes into it. I watched it. I started watching it, I think, Sunday or Saturday. It's interesting.
I'm going to have to remember that.
It gets a 7.8. So
That's
it's pretty high.
That sounds like a terrific movie at that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, but it's just, as you know, it's hard for me to. I can't just sit there and watch a subtitled movie for very long. I mean, every 5 minutes I'm stopping it, getting up, pacing, walking around or whatever. I have that issue. I always have. But it definitely seems like I'm gonna watch it all. It's just
Right.
it's gonna take me a while. I might have it done by the time we do our show next week. But it's definitely interesting. It's definitely got my attention. But you have Hulu, right?
No.
No. Well, you should check it out. I'll give you my password.
Maybe
You should watch
somebody's got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
'Cause
try to watch that.
I
That's
checked it
pretty
at the
good.
library again, and they still don't have it at the library. Or it's checked out. I don't know.
I think we have to request movies at the library, and then they would buy them. And I think I want to request some of the Best Picture winners, like Nomadland and Coda, and whatever other ones come up that we have that I haven't seen, but I'd like to see some of those.
I would definitely watch Nomadland. Coda's obviously subtitled,
Right?
so I won't watch that. Which is too bad because I really want to watch Parasite too, but that's subtitled too, right?
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen
You
Parasite?
might be able to get it. It might be dubbed though. You might be able to find it dubbed. You might, on the list of languages. Sometimes you can use a different language so it can be dubbed in. You could try it, see what you think. I don't know. Sometimes I think movies, for whatever reason, like that, they don't jibe with me sometimes. And I watched a movie last night. I was telling you about this last week called Knight of Cups, starring Christian Bale. It had Kate Blanchett and had Natalie Portman.
That's a pretty good cast.
Pretty good cast.
Three
In
Academy
addition
Award
to
winners?
Brian Dennehy. And
Brian Dennehy, yep, he's a good actor.
I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the guy who played his brother, but he's on Yellowstone.
He plays Christian Bale's brother.
Yeah, if I told you his name, you would know who I'm talking about, but I can't think of his name. Anyway, it was a really interesting movie. It was the third time I sat down to watch it because the first couple of times I was like, oh no, I got to concentrate to watch this movie. Because it was very, very different. What it kind of had to do with was, they don't say this, but it was as if somebody had a tarot card reading. So they would show a scene and they would name it after one of the tarot cards. So it would say like the Hanged Man. And then the next scene would have to do with, the Hanged Man, as if the
Right.
Christian Bale character had drawn as if he had drawn that card. So it was really interesting, and I had to keep reminding myself as I was watching it. It was such an interesting movie that I had to say, don't take this literally. Like what I'm watching, I can't take it literally that it's actually happening in the guy's life. It was all symbolic, which was amazing. So he'd be in a room, like there was a room where Brian Dennehy is washing his hands and there's blood all over them. So it's like, it was like, of course symbolizing like washing the blood off his hands.
Right, yeah.
Type of thing. But he wasn't really washing the blood off his hands. It was all symbolic. It was wild.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it
does. It
was.
definitely
And then when I
sounds
got to the end, I'm thinking, okay, who directed this thing? And I was thinking, I gotta look more into this. It was Terrence Malick.
Oh,
who
wow.
makes interesting films.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Right? I mean, he's one of those guys that if you looked it up, I don't think that movie got rated very highly because I think it was like in the 6s or something. But Terrence Malick movies are not super popular, but they're very like critically acclaimed so that he can get any actor he wants. I think
Yeah.
he said. I mean,
Didn't he do the Thin Red Line?
yeah, so he had Sean Penn.
Look at
was
the
in
cast
that.
in that movie.
Amazing
I mean,
cast.
A-listers all over the place in that movie.
He did Tree of Life, which I think is
Brad Pitt, Sean Penn.
right.
I think he did To the Wonder, which was Ben Affleck, Javier Bardem.
I haven't seen it. That's another one on my list.
Yeah.
Don's famous list, which is like
And he doesn't do
pages and
he doesn't
pages.
do a lot of movies either. He's
No.
not a director that you're going to see do a movie every year. I mean,
Well, what do you think? I mean, do you like his films?
the only one I've seen is the Thin Red Line, and I liked it, but it was long.
Right.
And it was hard too because it came out the same year as Saving Private Ryan. And it's kind of hard to compare war movies. It's because Saving Private Ryan is one of the all-time greats. I mean,
Right.
I consider that and Platoon the best war movies of all time. So it's really difficult when you see Saving Private Ryan first, and then you see the Thin. Because I saw Saving Private Ryan in the theater, So I was like, that was the only way to see it. I was like, this movie just looks too
Right.
good to pass up seeing in the theater.
Yeah, it's
And-
amazing because that movie, I remember where I saw the movie. I was down in Brattleboro at the Latches in the big theater on the big screen. And, that opening D-Day
scene.
scene, it just was amazing. I mean, it's amazing, but it's also kind of traumatizing.
That's one of the most like magnificent scenes ever, I think, to open a movie, like ever. I mean, it's like we talked about before. Tom Hanks is pulling the guy, and then all of a sudden there's an explosion, and Tom Hanks is only pulling half the guy because half of the
Right.
guy got blown off. It's just. But yeah, no, that was like, it was kind of traumatizing because it's like the way it's shot. You're like in the movie, like it's like coming at you.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, you're part of it. You're
Yeah.
like on those boats
Yeah.
that are going into the bay and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an amazing scene, and you would expect nothing less of Steven Spielberg. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
just is an amazing
Yeah.
filmmaker.
And I'm gonna say it again. I know I've said it a million times. There's no way Shakespeare in Love was better than Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
I don't care. What
Though Tom Wilkinson is in it.
Tom Wilkinson is in it. So is the brother Wes Bentley or Cole Hauser?
Wes Bentley.
Okay, I have Yellowstone up, and I figured it was one of those two because they're.
You know who's
relatively well
he's a
known.
better actor than I realized because I watched Yellowstone and I kind of don't like him on the show.
No.
I think there's something, I don't know, there's something weird about him. It's not that I don't like the character, like his sister, the woman that plays his sister, was a very good actress, but I can't stand the character. She's somebody, I just want to, I don't know what to say. But Wes Bentley, it's not so much that I dislike the character so much, but it's I don't know, it's just a strange, his portrayal is very strange of that character.
I actually just watched recently American Beauty, and he's creepy in that too.
Right.
But I don't know. Did you want to continue with these IMDb movies?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about some of the ones, Tom Wilkinson, known for The Full Monty, Michael Clayton,
Yep.
I forget what In the Bedroom, which he was
In the Bedroom,
nominated
yes,
for.
yep.
And then there was a fourth movie too, but
Well, Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
He plays Carmine Falcone, and he was really good as a villain.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
Shakespeare in Love. He was a very good actor, and he
Yeah.
was the type of guy.
very
that,
versatile. He could play many
Right.
different parts.
when I saw his name in the credits of any film, I'd be like, "Oh, this is good," because now
Yeah.
you have another really good, solid actor, and he, like you say, he was very versatile, could do a lot of different things.
I mean, I think I saw there were like 130 credits on
Yeah.
IMDb. I didn't realize. I mean, the movies that I wrote down, I didn't realize. I've seen a lot of them and didn't realize he was in them.
Yeah.
Because it's been such a long time since I've seen, like The Patriot. We were talking about it before the show. I think he was one of the bad guys in The Patriot, but I'm not really sure. I haven't seen it in like 20
It
years.
says he was General Lord Cornwallis. That sounds like it could have been a British. I don't know much about the history, so Cornwallis probably was a British soldier, because that's a Revolutionary War film.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's just that I haven't seen it in a long
I
time.
wonder if I've seen the whole movie. I remember being at Bellows Falls and the movie stopped like partway through. That's happened to me a couple of times.
It's happened to me a couple times.
Crouching Tiger, no, Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, that happened to me. It was on Classics Night, and that I was dying to see it because it's been years. Everybody's seen it. Everybody liked it. I went to see it, and the film kind of crapped out partway through, and I got passes to go back to see another movie someday. So maybe I'll use those passes for Amelie. That's coming up, I think, on April 17th.
What is it?
Amelie.
Oh, is that Audrey Tattoo or whatever?
Right.
Or however you pronounce her
Right.
name. I don't know how to pronounce her name. That was like a cult classic. Like, I want to say that was an independent movie, but I think it did pretty well. I remember when that came out. I was working at the video store, and it was pretty popular.
Yeah, I like those filmmakers. I think his name is Jean-Claude Junot. He did a couple other ones, Island of Lost Children. I just watched one relatively recently called Micmacs. Really interesting, cool movies. I don't know. I really like interesting filmmakers. If people are going to be off the beaten path with stuff, I think it's really cool. And I know that I was going to tell you about that movie. I went back and watched a Tom Wilkinson movie. It was called Little Boy. Now that movie's not so like different, off the beaten path. It really was kind of like, I don't know, if I showed you the story on paper, you'd go, oh, that looks neat. But it was one of these things where they made the most out of this movie. They just really did it. I would recommend it. I think it's like a cool movie. He's in it. It basically was a little boy. So the boy is the star of the movie. His dad, who's played by Michael Rappaport, ends up going off to war. And so a lot of it has to do with this kid really wants his father to come back from the war.
So who's is Tom Wilkinson like the grandfather?
Tom Wilkinson is a priest. He plays a key role in this movie. He's a priest, and the kid goes to church one Sunday, sees him preach, and basically the preacher says, you can achieve anything. You can move a mountain with something the size of a mustard seed. And the kid takes it literally like, I'm going to get my dad back from the war. It's really cool. I mean, I was going to recommend it too. It has a lot to do with faith. It reminded me of, there was another movie that had something along those lines. I'm not going to be able to remember I can't think what the name of it is. See, the problem is my mind doesn't move as fast as my mouth does.
Yeah,
Like,
that can be a problem.
Faith-oriented movies like that. Not that it's preachy or anything. It's really, really, it's more amazing than anything. So I was telling you about IMDb. I went through the list, and you can look at the Academy Awards, and you can arrange it in certain ways.
Right.
And I went back to some of the earliest Best Picture movies, and they're rated below the Mendoza line.
Yeah, I after the show, I went and looked, and I saw there are 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think one was like 5.5, and it won Best Picture. I mean, that's terrible.
Right.
I mean, and yeah, they are all older, and we mentioned it last week. Maybe it's because a lot of people haven't seen them because they're so old. I'll never watch a movie that old. I'll never watch Wings, no matter what.
I might. I mean, if the library had it, I might try to watch it. I think is Wings a silent movie? It might be.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
It's the first Best Picture.
Yes, 1928, 29, something like that.
Yeah.
I did see in film school, it was 13 weeks, we watched a different movie every week. The Battleship Potemkin was a silent movie. It was about a mutiny on a battleship, and I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't like it? Okay.
No. I think it gets rated pretty high, but that's a pretty old movie, and I just didn't. We watched like Oklahoma. We watched just a bunch of classics, and
because I've been trying to make it a mission to see the highest rated movies on IMDb, and I've seen most of them, but some of the ones that I have remaining are silent movies, Charlie Chaplin movies. I think City Lights. I can't think of what the other ones are, but there's a few of his that I need to see.
Battleship Potemkin was 1925. Definitely the oldest movie I've ever seen. It gets a 7.9.
Yeah, wow.
That's really high. Like I said, my attention span doesn't,
Well, you know what I
doesn't sit
noticed,
well
and
with me.
I was saying this to you, IMDb, because I'm older than you are. I mean, I'm getting to be, an Altacaca, and what's happened is the older movies on IMDb, there's almost a bias against them, so they're not rated as high because people are rating all the new stuff that's coming out. So I was looking at the Best Picture movies. Now the top rated Best Picture movie is The Godfather from 1972. I don't think if I were to look on this list, I bet it's quite a while before you come up with the next one. Godfather
Part 2. Yeah,
but anything prior to 1972.
Yeah. After
It's
that,
not gonna be
Well, you
rated
got
really
One
high.
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with 75.
That's 1975.
That gets 8.6. So that's pretty high, but that's still, other than that, yeah. I mean,
Number 11, Casablanca.
You're probably looking at mostly 80s and 90s, even the 2000s.
Right.
Like Parasite's what, 8.5?
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah, 8.5.
I mean, that's 2021,
2019.
2019. I mean, that's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still holding up at 8.5. That's obviously it was a pretty good movie. If it's 8.5, it did win Best Picture. But the ones I have, Departed's 8.5. I mean, that's 2006. Gladiators, 2000, 2001, something like that. Silence of the Lambs, early 90s, Forrest Gump, mid 90s, Schindler's List, mid 90s. It's like, you're right. None of these. I mean, Ben-Hur gets an 8.1, but that's pretty far down the list.
Right. Have you seen Casablanca?
Not all of it. I've seen some of it, but
I was going to say, let's see if that. I mean, it's got to be short. I don't think it's a very long movie. What did I say? It was number 11. 102 minutes. So an hour and 42 minutes. Not a very long movie.
I mean, we talked about The Sting last week. That gets an 8.2, and you said you really liked it.
I liked it. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I don't think I liked it like I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Because I find it very not memorable. Like,
it has charm. I mean,
I saw it when I was younger, and I just don't remember much about it.
It's hard to beat. I mean, you get Paul Newman and Robert Redford together, which they did in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and
which is excellent.
They just play really well off each other. They're just like an awesome kind of duo. So you knew that's going to be a big hit. So I'm trying to look back and see some. Oh, here's another one. Number 16, Lawrence of Arabia from 1962. This one is 2 hours and 18 minutes.
What about Gone?
Not 2 hours. What did I
Gone?
say? 218 minutes.
Oh.
That's 3 hours and 38 minutes?
Yeah. Gone with the Wind gets 8.1. That's what? 39? Something like that, 1939?
Yeah, 1939.
And how long was that?
That's a long movie. Let's see. I got to go down a little bit.
Because I feel like
238 minutes.
Oh my God, that's
almost
4
4
hours.
Wow.
Never could I mean, I remember watching The Irishman, and I liked it, but I had to watch it over 3 days.
Yeah.
Because it was so long. Like what was the longest, do you think, was John Wick the longest one we saw in the theater?
Yeah.
Because I remember Avatar was pretty long.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as long as the John Wick one.
It was pretty long. A lot of the movies we saw in the theater the last couple of years have been pretty long.
I think that's been a trend lately, is that they're making a lot of, I think in order to compete with television, streaming, which, a lot of movies are getting released out streaming first.
Yeah.
In order to compete, they have to make them long.
It just came out on Amazon or Prime is the remake of Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
Oh my God, I saw that and I was like, I can't watch this. How can you remake that? Patrick Swayze is whatever Dalton. And Jake Gyllenhaal, just to me, I don't know. He's a good actor. He's a very good actor.
Now, did they remake his other movie? What was it called? Footloose? Is he Footloose?
Who? Patrick
Swayze?
No, that was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
But they did remake that. I actually saw the remake of that. Miles Teller, I think, is actually in that.
Yeah.
He doesn't play Kevin Bacon's character, but he plays Chris Penn's character.
They remade so much stuff that was like unnecessary. They didn't even need to bother with it.
I'm telling you, I'm just waiting for The Godfather to get remade. They're going to run out of remakes. It's going to happen. They're running out of remakes, unless they want to keep doing, or is there going to be The Godfather Part 4?
Probably. I would bet on that before I would bet on them
Is
trying to
Andy
remake
Garcia going to be The Godfather?
Could be.
I mean, I don't know.
know.
It's just the sequels and remakes are just out of control. I mean, they already have Avatar 3, 4, and 5 all planned. I think they're already filming 3, or 3 might even be completed already, and they're on to 4. But they have at least 5 Avatars, and as long as they keep making the money that Avatar makes, they're just going to keep making them. Well, I mean, they'd be stupid not to.
Right.
I mean, the second one made almost as much as the first one.
Well, I thought that was part of the plan. Is they were going to make like a certain number of them, 3, 4,
and
something.
that's it.
I don't know.
I mean,
you say, but James Cameron could get bored with it. He could decide, you know what? I feel like making another movie. I feel like making a movie about exploring Mount Everest or something like that. He's I don't know. He's an amazing filmmaker.
Oh, he is. He's great at
he
what
may
he
not
does.
want to be tied down to it.
And it's not like he needs the money.
Right.
I mean, the guy's freaking loaded.
Well, think about last summer's big movies. I mean, some of the biggest movies, Oppenheimer and Barbie, were originals, right? But they also had Mission Impossible, which was like the 7th one.
What
or
about
something
Indiana
like
Jones?
Indiana Jones. Was
Harrison Ford is
5th?
80. He's 80.
Right, and he's jumping on top of a train.
Yes.
It's like
enough's enough.
And I like him. I like Harrison
Oh,
Ford.
I do too, but it's like...
They need to come up with more movies for Harrison Ford to do. And he recently did the other one that was a remake of the Blade Runner.
Oh, right.
He was in that too.
I heard that was... I haven't seen that. I heard that was really good, though.
It is really good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I mean, they also did. I don't know, maybe it was like 10 years ago now, but they remade Mad Max. You know, I mean, Mario, technically, I don't know if you can consider it a remake or not, but I mean, it's based off a video game, and they did do a live-action Mario movie that tanked.
Yeah, with Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, and John Leguizamo. And obviously, this Mario movie did not tank. We went and saw that in 3D in the movie theater. I had a good time. I really liked it. You know, I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun. Especially the 3D effect. I thought that was pretty cool. That was the first movie second movie I'd seen. Oh, I was going to mention, one of the movies that crapped out on me when I went to the theater was My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Oh.
3 different times. And finally, I was with my ex at the time. I was like, let's just go. I was like, it's a stupid movie anyway. It's terrible. It's a remake. I already know what happens, you know.
Right.
But and we didn't get a refund.
It happens. I mean, I'm not knocking on our theater, which is, you know, I've probably seen hundreds of movies in Bellows Falls at the Opera House, and, you know, it just happened. Those are 2 times that the film broke. I don't think they're even doing film. They're doing, like, video or something now. I don't know.
I think they opened Ghostbusters.
I'm
pretty sure they did.
Which means they have to hang on to it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, which surprises me because of all the movies, like, I just feel like there's bigger movies that they could have opened than Ghostbusters. You know,
Right.
like, they didn't open Mario. You know, and I would have thought for sure, especially coming out Easter weekend, I would have thought that would be one, you know, because you know parents are going to take their kids to go see it, you know.
Right.
I mean, we went and saw it, and there were a lot of kids there.
It was.
You know? I mean,
It did pretty well.
We were definitely probably the 2 oldest people in the theater, you know, without question. But, no, it was a lot of fun. Not that has anything to do with Best Picture. Mario would never be considered a Best Picture favorite. But they do already have a sequel planned for 2026.
Starring Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it doesn't surprise me. With the money that Mario made, it made $1.2 billion or something like that. Only Barbie beat it of all the movies last year. So, you know, anything that makes that much money, you know they're going to make another one. You know, and it's like everybody knows Mario. You know, literally everybody. Who doesn't know Mario? You know, I mean, it's just. But I was gonna ask you about one of these movies. Oh, so we were talking about Gladiator last week. And Gladiator gets an 8.5. Braveheart gets an 8.3. To me, they're similar movies.
Right.
Which one did you like better?
Well, I would say probably Braveheart, right?
I like Braveheart better. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix's performance in Gladiator is so chilling.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Gladiator in a long time, so I'd have to go back and watch it.
I mean, they're good. They're both good. They both obviously won Best Pictures because we're talking about Best Pictures. Braveheart was definitely an upset because I think the consensus was going to be Apollo 13. That was actually the first Oscars I ever watched. And Mel Gibson was shocked because he won Best Director, and then right after he won Best Picture, and he was shocked that he won both.
Wow.
And I think the crowd in general was very surprised. But that also was a year. The Usual Suspects was not nominated for Best Picture. Seven was not nominated for Best Picture. When you have a movie like Sense and Sensibility, and I'm not, whatever. That's not my kind of movie. But if you go on IMDb, I guarantee you, The Usual Suspects and Seven are both rated way higher than Sense and Sensibility. Another movie that was nominated that year for Best Picture, Babe. The Pig movie was nominated for Best Picture over Seven in The Usual Suspects.
See, this is why they had to expand the field to 10.
Yes, exactly. I think The Usual Suspects may have been overlooked because it wasn't a huge release, but there's no excuse for Seven not getting nominated.
Right.
I mean that gets an 8.8 on IMDb, and that movie, I just watched that a few weeks ago. That movie still holds up. I mean, it's just, the one knock I always had is the ending. Brad Pitt's performance the last couple minutes because it's just so god awful, but it doesn't take away from the entire movie because it's an.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it based on that.
It's an excellent movie.
I don't know. I didn't really find it. I don't know.
It's
terrible.
terrible.
I gotta watch it.
It's terrible. I literally watched it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, man, he almost ruins this movie. And he's a good actor,
right?
But it just, I don't know. He just missed it. But it's such a good.
I think there's some moments like in Dune. Any of the Dunes, right? There's a part where the guy has to put his hand in the box, and It's really hard for an actor to be convincing when they're doing the whole thing, because they're supposed to endure this like ungodly amount of pain, and it's the only moment really I can criticize Timothée Chalamet for, because I just thought it was kind of weak.
Yeah.
But I think it would just be hard. It's a hard moment for any actor to pull off. Kyle MacLachlan, but that his movie was a little more. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he's the star of Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be watching a lot of his stuff soon.
I think I traded my Twin Peaks in, so I can't even say I'll watch it again.
Well, you can get the one from the library when I'm done with it.
That's true.
Now, Forrest Gump gets 8.8. What do you think?
I really liked it. I mean, I think that's kind of a.
I mean, where is that in the top? That's got to be top 10, I would think, right?
Let's see. Forrest Gump.
Because I think
Yeah, there it is. 5.
it's number
8.8. 142 minutes.
the one knock I have on that movie is when he runs.
Yeah.
I just thought that whole part
part drags
it was
a
just
little bit.
it's just stupid. It's like, what does that have to do with the movie? Like, I feel like it could have been left out,
Yeah.
and it would have made the movie a little shorter. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't like it at first, and it's one of those movies when you watch over and over, I guess. I own it, and I have it pulled out because I want to watch it again. And I am going to tell you that I did get, I have Requiem for a Dream on my DVD player right now. I'm going to attempt to watch it again.
Wow.
So I don't know how far I'll get this time. Try to get a little further each time until I
Right.
finally reach the finish line. I don't know if that's going to happen.
It's another one of those movies that's really just difficult to watch.
Extremely
I was going to
difficult
mention when we were talking war movies that, what do they call it? Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down, I saw it in the theater. I don't know if I want to watch it again. I just remember it being so traumatic. I felt like my chest hurt watching that movie.
When like they're like kind of getting surrounded by the I remember the first time I watched that, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
And it's one of the movies using handheld when you need it. The handheld camera enhances that movie, as opposed to, I think it detracts from most films. But that one, it's perfect for that. But it's a tough movie. To me, it's a tough watch. I've never gone back to watch it again.
I think I've seen it one other time, and it was probably like within the last 5 years. And it still gave me chills. Even though I know what happens, it still gave me chills because it's so real. I mean, obviously it's based on a true story,
Right.
but I mean, it's just, you're in the moment. And you're like, it's like, wow. And I mean, he's a director that I don't think gets enough credit. Ridley Scott. I think he's really good. I think he was actually
yeah.
nominated for Best Director for that.
I bet he's been nominated several times, I'm sure.
I don't think he got nominated for Gladiator.
No?
I don't think he did. I'm going to check right now. Because I remember the year Gladiator won Best Picture. I was torn because I thought Traffic was a better movie. And Steven Soderbergh got Best Director, and Benicio del Toro won Best Supporting Actor. And I would probably agree with Soderbergh because I did ultimately like Traffic better, but I think Joaquin Phoenix was better in Gladiator than Benicio del Toro was in Traffic. And I mean, I thought both performances were really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. But here, I got it on really.
Yeah, I guess a lot of times you could nominate people in the villain role, like Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men.
To me, that was a no-brainer. I mean, it wasn't a scary movie, but that character was just scary.
Robert Mitchum from Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Some of these guys that played the heavies could definitely be nominated. I don't know. James Woods from The Onion Field. I don't even know if he got nominated for that, but I didn't want to see his face again after that movie.
So he's nominated for Best Picture for The Martian. He produced The Martian. He was nominated for Best Director for Gladiator. I was wrong about that. Best Director for Black Hawk Down. That was back-to-back years of Gladiator. And I always forget he directed Thelma and Louise. He got nominated for Best Director for that. That was his first Oscar nomination. It has no Oscars.
Wow.
We got to be running out of time here.
We got to be.
Okay.
We got 5 minutes, 5 seconds.
But Thelma and Louise, I'm just curious. What do you think what that gets for a rating?
I bet that like a solid 8.
You think?
Yeah.
7.6. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a movie I haven't seen in a really, really long time. I think that's when America really got introduced to Brad Pitt, right?
I think so. I don't remember anything before that.
Did you ever see The Cool World?
Cool World. No, that's partly animated, isn't it?
Yes. I saw it when I was a kid.
Brad Pitt's in that?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
I gotta look it up.
He must have been pretty young because
He was definitely young.
he was wicked young in Thelma and Louise.
His same year as
He was their boy toy, right? In Thelma and Louise.
yeah. Yeah, Kim Basinger, Gabriel Byrne. It wasn't very good. 4.8.
Oh, that's not even watchable.
No. Oh my God, look how young he looks in that. It's black and white, but that's Brad Pitt.
Oh, wow.
He looks like a baby. Yeah, no, it was a bad movie. It was just something my dad rented when Reel to Reel was open when I was a kid. And yeah, it came out in 92. But yeah, 4.8. I wouldn't recommend it. But
Right.
Can you imagine Gabriel Byrne, Kim Basinger, and Brad Pitt, and it gets a 4.8? That tells you how bad of a script that must have been. I mean, just look at it. I mean, that just looks terrible.
Yeah, I've never wanted to like venture into that.
It
for some
almost
reason.
reminds me of a ripoff of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Probably was.
I don't remember exactly what it was about. I just remember it was bad, and I didn't watch it all.
Well, we noticed that the studios tend to come out with similar themed movies. If there's a movie about a volcano, then the other theater has to have
Yes.
one about a volcano or an earthquake.
Volcano, Dante's Peak came out at the same time. You know, it's like
Right? There were ones about there was a meteor that was going to hit the Earth. There were two of those that came out at the same time.
yep. Well, like I said, The Thin Red Line and Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
Okay, Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out in 1988. What do you think that gets? I bet this
7.5.
I bet it gets pretty high, 7.7. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good movie. Bob Hoskins, I think he recently passed, didn't he?
I think he passed a while ago.
Was it a while ago?
He's been gone longer than we realize.
I think we actually talked about that like a
'Cause
couple weeks ago. I thought he was a good actor.
I went back and watched one of his movies. Not Mona Lisa. He's in Mona Lisa, but it was another one like that. Felicia's Journey. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's a girl. She runs away from home. She runs away to go reunite with a boyfriend. I think she gets pregnant by him, and she leaves Ireland to go to England to try to find him. And she can't find him, and Bob Hoskins supposedly is trying to help her find this guy. It's an interesting role. I'd be surprised he didn't. That's one he could have gotten nominated for.
He got nominated actually for Best Actor for Mona Lisa.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he died in 2014. So yeah, it was a while
It's been a
ago.
while.
I thought it seemed more recent. Did you ever see a movie he was in called Stay?
I don't think so.
It was very, very different. I remember watching it when it came out. It's before Ryan Gosling became like a household name.
Uh-huh.
He'd already been in like the football one there. Remember the Titans? He'd already been in that and stuff. But he wasn't like. This was kind of not like his breakout movie so much, but it was just like it was one of his first bigger roles in a big budget movie. It gets a 6.7. It's Bob Hoskins, Ryan Gosling, and Naomi Watts.
Oh, good cast.
I'll read you the description. A psychiatrist attempts to prevent one of his patients from committing suicide while trying to maintain his own grip on reality. Oh.
Sounds interesting.
Oh. Is it not? I swear Bob Hoskins is in that. It's Ewan McGregor is actually, yeah, Bob Hoskins isn't it? It's Ewan McGregor, Bob Hoskins, Naomi Watts, and Ryan Gosling. So it's a very good cast. I liked it. It gets a 6.7. I'm surprised because I didn't.
That's watchable.
I didn't think it was going to be that high because I thought it was one of those movies that I liked that most people probably didn't.
Right.
Because I don't think it did well at the box office, considering that's a pretty good cast. Ewan McGregor was doing the Star Wars remakes at the time, and Naomi Watts just did what's the horror movie that was huge? The Ring. You know, she had just done that, and that was out of nowhere to become a huge movie. You know, so they were both pretty big. Like I said, Ryan Gosling wasn't like that big at the time, but it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. He plays a college student. He's the one that's trying to. Ewan McGregor's trying to talk about killing himself. But it's a really good movie. I would definitely check it out. But that's all the time we have this week.
All right, well, I got to tell you about Monkey Man. An
Okay.
anonymous
Yes,
young
yes.
man unleashes a campaign of vengeance against the corrupt leaders who murdered his mother and continue to systematically victimize the poor and powerless. That's Monkey Man.
This isn't a remake, right? This is an original?
No, I think it's an original, yeah.
It's interesting. I'm going to have to check it out.
All right.
Well, this has been our show this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, I'm Don Treller, and these are the ones you don't want to miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. Here's Johnny.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.